Hi, I'm David Barnett. You might recognize me as the singer, guitarist, and bass player with the band Menaces, who played a storming gig at the Hope and Anchor last night to an adoring audience of several people. Oh, bollocks. Uh, the parkruns across the country begin in 15 minutes, so it looks like it's going to be difficult to do a journey today. But of course, I'm not the kind of guy who lets waking up 15 minutes before a parkrun begins stop him from taking part in a parkrun journey, because today's parkrun journey takes us from here, my bedroom, to there, Hampstead Heath, just over there. Look at that. Let's see if we can make it. Join me now on what proves to be quite a short, Great British Parkrun journey. Hi, I'm David Barnett, talking to you from some of the ancient woodland of Hampstead Heath. Now, just because Hampstead Heath happens to be literally on my doorstep doesn't mean that the parkrun begins a mere few yards away. On the contrary, and particularly this week, when, due to the affordable art fair taking place at South Pond Green, the usual start line quite near my house has been moved to the notorious Route B at the top of a hill that's quite far away, across these astonishing 790 acres of heathland, woodlands, ancient and modern, ponds, English heritage, country house, a zoo, so much to see and do on the heath. But of course the reason we're here today is to do a parkrun. Unfortunately, I think I've just found the start line just ahead there. Let's parkrun. Hi, I'm David Barnett, talking to you from the finish line at the notorious Route B finish line of Hampstead Heath Parkrun. And you can still see a few of the amateur fun runners finishing behind me there, although truth be told, not as far behind as usual, because even at the best of times, Hampstead Heath is, although one of the most beautiful parkruns in London, probably one of the toughest, being on one of the high points of the Thames Valley. At its peak, I believe, Hampstead Heath is about more than 300 feet above sea level, which is the equivalent of 3 centipedes. So, as you know, a bit of an unorthodox parkrun journey today, because I got up 15 minutes before it started. I wasn't able to do my usual informative exploration of the route and the history of the location. So let's spin things around this week and take a look at the parkrun journey home. Hi, Hampstead Heath. Named, of course, after the controversial 1970s Conservative Prime Minister Ted Heath, well known for his love of sailing, classical music, and, if the rumours are to be believed, small boys. Of course, I'm joking. Hampstead Heath simply named after the fact that it's beside Hampstead on the one side. Indeed, Hampstead Heath offers us a fascinating glimpse of what pre-industrial London would have looked like, a constellation of disparate villages orbiting the hub of the three conjoined cities of London, Westminster and Southwark. Hampstead Heath was saved by those Victorian do-gooders again, and well done chaps, nice job. Now, the first stop on our reverse journey takes us to one of my favourite parts of the Heath, the Vale of Health. It's quite an extraordinary sight. A tiny hamlet set within the Heath itself, a piece of London in a piece of the countryside in London. And we're just entering it now. Look at that. And this must be one of the most des-res spots in the whole of London, entirely surrounded as it is by the Heath. This is probably about the only car that'll be passing through today, I imagine. The Vale of Health has long been sought after by the great and the good. Many blue plaques here, can't quite see any right now, but one famous resident was none other than D.H. Lawrence, the well-known pornographer of the early 20th century. There we go, D.H. Lawrence's house, the author, of course, of Lady Chatterley's Lover. It really is delightfully charming here in the Vale of Health. Maybe one day, eh? I mean, just look at this piece here. We're walking along what looks like a regular Victorian London street, and turn the corner and we're right back in the thick of Hampstead Heath. Really quite extraordinary. Hi, I'm David Barnett, speaking to you from Hampstead Heath. I'm just approaching one of the famous landmarks of this vast expanse of land. This small copse here is known locally as Boudicca's mound, or the Tumnus. Boudicca, also known as Boudicca, was the Queen of the Iceni, the hero of London who saved London from the Romans or something along those lines. Anyway, this is where she is supposed to be buried, Boudicca's mound there. Boudicca's mound because of her genitalia, which became inflamed in the heat of battle. Unfortunately, as with many of these great London stories, it's simply apocryphal bollocks. Recent archaeological studies found Boudicca's mound to be little more than the site of an old windmill. Boudicca also thought to be buried under the platform 9 at King's Cross Station, which was once known as Battle Bridge after her war with the Romans. That also seems unlikely because, as we all know, platform 9 is where Harry Potter goes to school from. Hi, I'm David Barnett, talking to you from the top of Parliament Hill in Hampstead Heath. Now, if I were to say Hampstead Heath to most people, this is probably the spot they'd think of, because Parliament Hill offers perhaps one of the best vistas of the metropolis. Just look at it there, stretching out before us. Really quite a remarkable view. You can see all the great landmarks there from actually you can't see Big Ben now because the trees are in the way, but in fact the fact that one could see Parliament from here is one of the possible origins of the name Parliament Hill, when the gunpowder plotters gathered up here to watch Guy Fawkes try and blow up the Houses of Parliament unsuccessfully.
Violence in Hampstead. Violence in Hampstead.
Hi, I'm David Barnett, talking to you from beside the Stone of Free Speech on Hampstead Heath. Now, while the origins of this peculiar artefact are a little hazy, it is well established that for more than 200 years this white stone here has been the focal point of religious and political gatherings. More recently, it's been adopted by 21st century pagans as a rallying point for their dubious practices. That pretty much takes us to the end of this reverse journey, as my humble abode is just round the corner now. I hope you've enjoyed this unusual edition of David Barnett's Great British Parkrun Journeys. Hopefully next week normal service will be resumed and we'll be doing the journey the right way round. Until then, take care and bye.
Violence